the section B. As you know, this is short answer question, so we are going to discuss these 5 questions and let us see what is the approach. So are you ready to play the KBC again? Kaun banega karodpati? Okay, fine. So the next question, the 6th question for you is that when does implantation occur? Okay, you have to write, since this is a short answer question, so you have to write this in a very small, in a 2 to 3 lines. But here I am going to explain you a little in detail so that you get the understanding of it, and later on you can just condense them in 2 to 3 lines. Okay. So let us start with this question, and where does implantation occur? Let us start the answer of this. Answer. First of all, let us see what is implantation. First of all, let us see what is implantation. Implantation is actually the attachment of the fertilized egg, right? Let's come back, let's come from initial. What has happened? The egg has, it has contacted, or the egg has united, or you can say the female gamete has united with the male gamete. Now this combination of male and female gamete together is called as what? Is called as the fertilization. Yes, this fertilization, this fertilization will be called, or can also be called as fusion. Where does it take place? It takes place in the fallopian tube. Now, after the egg has fertilized, after the egg has combined with the male gamete, okay, or after the fusion has taken place, that fertilized egg has to get attached to the uterine wall. Got it? Just we'll take a small diagram. Okay. We'll take a small diagram and we will see, this is the uterine wall, this is the vulva, the vagina, the vulva, and all those things. Okay, this is the uterine and this is the fallopian tube. Here will be the ovaries, and from the ovary the egg cell will come here. Now once the egg cell has, this is the fallopian tube. So once the fusion or fertilization of that egg cell with the male gamete has taken place, this will come here and this will bind to the wall of the uterus. It binds to which wall of the uterus? It binds to the endometrium wall of the uterus. This binding is called as implantation. This binding is called as implantation. And when does this implantation take place? This implantation will take place at the blastocyst stage. Okay, that implantation will take place at the blastocyst stage. So I'll write this here. There's no duster over here. Okay. So I'll write this here as what? I'll write it here as that implantation is the binding. Implantation is a binding of the fertilized egg, to the endometrium layer of the uterine wall. Okay, to the endometrium layer, of uterine wall. Okay. Implantation is the binding of the fertilized egg to the endometrium layer of the uterine wall. It takes place at which stage? It takes place at blastocyst stage, okay, of the zygote, around 5 to 8 days. Okay, generally we say 9 days. Okay, around 5 to 8 days. Okay, the average we take as 9 days after ovulation. Got it? So once again, implantation is the binding. Implantation, can you see this overline here? Okay. So implantation is the binding of the fertilized egg to the endometrium layer of the uterine wall. And when, at what stage? At the blastocyst stage of the embryo, at the blastocyst stage of the embryo, this is getting implanted into the endometrium wall, and this is taking place at 5 to 8 days. We call it as 9 days after the ovulation, right? So just one more thing, I like you to explain you that this particular thing. So what will be your answer? Only this will be your answer, that it takes place at blastocyst stage of zygote around 5 to 8 days, 9 days after ovulation. Now one more thing to be noted, what you can say here, that the zygote, okay, the zygote, it undergoes, cleavage. There's a process called cleavage where it undergoes division, okay, undergoes division by process called cleavage. And then it forms what? It forms different stages. It forms blastocyst, okay, then the gastrula stage, then we will see the other, the neurula stage and the period for organogenesis and all that. So the zygote, how is zygote formed? The zygote is formed by the union of the male and the female gamete. Now once the zygote is formed, it will undergo further cleavage divisions. When it goes undergo further cleavage divisions, it will first form the blastocyst, okay, then after blastocyst it will form the gastrula stage. At the blastocyst, this embryo, or this embryo which is formed, or this zygote, it is getting fixed to the endometrium uterine wall. Got it? That is called implantation, and that is taking place at 9 days. Further we see, when we will discuss gastrula stage, we will see, the 3 germ layers, that is the ectoderm, the mesoderm and the endoderm will be formed here. Then there will be a period of organogenesis, then the neurulation stage where the neuron and the nervous system will be formed, all those things. This is just to understand your answer will be that implantation takes place at the blastocyst stage of the zygote. Even this is a little extra you're answering, but no problem, you can answer around 5 to 8 days, that is 9 days after ovulation. That's it, your question is done. We move on to the next one, and I hope you have understood. Human biology is always beautiful. Why? Because it is associated with us. It is associated with us. The 7th question comes to us like this: how is diapause different from hibernation? How is diapause different from hibernation? Right. When we talk about diapause, what do we see? Diapause is actually the suspension. Okay, what happens here, the animals suspend their activities, normal activities, during stressful conditions over here, right? This is suspension, okay, this is suspension of normal body activities, right, of normal body activities, during stress condition, right? So there is suspension of the normal body activities during this during the stress condition. And what is this can take place? This can take place both in winter as well as summer. Okay, can take place both in winter as well as summer. So diapause is a suspension, that is what happens, this can this can take place in any condition, in any temperature, it does not depend on any climate. There is stressful condition, so the organism will say, okay, I'm going to suspend my normal activities, and that is called as diapause. Okay, that can take place both in winter as well as summer. The best example of this will be the monarch butterflies. Okay, the best example of this will be the monarch butterflies. Okay, and here there is a reduction in free water. Okay, in this mechanism of diapause, there will be a reduction in free water. Reduction in free water. Okay. However, what do we see in hibernation? Hibernation is a winter sleep. It is a winter sleep. During this time, what happens? The organisms, okay, during the winter season, they suspend their normal body activities and go to sleep, become dormant, and in this way the hibernation is different from diapause. In diapause, there was suspension of the body activities in any season, does not depend whether it's summer or winter, whatever. Hibernation, it happens only in winter, and that is called as a winter sleep. Also, there is reduction in free water in diapause, anything like that in the hibernation. Okay, but that's a supplementary difference. The main difference being that, okay, diapause, both summer and winter, actions will be suspended. Here only during the hibernation, that only during the winter season the activities will be suspended. So I'll write this as once again. In hibernation, only during the winter conditions, okay, only during the winter conditions the body activities are suspended. Okay, the body activities are suspended. Right? This is hibernation and that was diapause. You must be knowing estivation. Estivation is nothing but the summer sleep. Okay? Hibernation is a winter sleep, estivation is a summer sleep, and diapause does not depend whether it's winter or summer. It can take place anytime. So that is more than enough for your short answer question. So friends, you are done with 2 questions, absolutely perfect. We have also seen the concept. See, when we are trying to understand this, when we are trying to learn it, we will not be very point wise. Diapause is what? Diapause is, this is summer, winter both, hibernation is only winter, like that. If you mug up like that, you will forget. Understand the concept. Anytime you can, whether this comes in 5 marker, 2 marker, 3 marker, then you can answer in your own way if you know it. So let's come to the 8th question, and this is on your screen as draw a label schematic diagram of the transcription unit. Okay, draw a so what does a transcription unit consist of? So the transcription unit consists of what? Transcription unit consists of basically 3 things. Okay, of 3 things. And what are those three things? We will see now. What are those three things? The first among them will be the promoter. The promoter. The second of them will be the structural gene, okay, structural gene. Structural region, and the third one will be the terminator. Right. We have written all these three. Very good. Let us understand in very brief. We are not going to just draw the diagram transcription unit like this. What is the use? First of all, what is transcription? I'll sum up in 2 minutes. Very easy. You know that from the central dogma of molecular biology, right? From the central dogma, okay, be with me. Just 2-3 minutes and the whole concept will be as easy, as a lime soda. Okay, so transcription, according to the central dogma of molecular biology, you must have read that what happens, the DNA gets converted into mRNA and the mRNA gets converted into the protein. Very good, very beautiful. I'm talking about the concept, not you. Okay, so the DNA gets converted into mRNA and the mRNA forms the protein. This process is called as transcription, and this process is called as what? Yes, translation. You are right. Where were you all this time? I was searching for you. Yes, translation. Beautiful. Like all the young people. Transcription and translation. So the process of conversion of this DNA into the messenger RNA is called as transcription. Now we know what is transcription. So what is happening? The DNA is getting converted into mRNA. So let us see what the transcription unit is. Since the DNA is getting converted, let us draw a DNA. Yes, this is a DNA strand. Beautiful. Like we all. This DNA strand which is getting converted, which will get converted into mRNA, is the template strand. Okay, because the work is going to be on this. It will act like a template. Template strand. Got it? You will get it. Template strand. Now, from this, okay, this DNA has to get converted into RNA. That is what is transcription. So since RNA has to be, manufactured, so we need RNA polymerase, right? We need RNA polymerase. Where will this RNA polymerase enzyme act? Yes, this will act on the DNA. But where on the DNA? That is the site which is called the promoter site. Okay. So this is the promoter site. And at this promoter site, the RNA polymerase will bind. Okay, RNA polymerase has bound to this site now, and the promoter region is ready. It is saying, okay, let us now prepare DNA. This part is the structural gene, the second part, and the structural gene, it codes for the protein for which the mRNA will be synthesized. And last but not the least will be what? Will be this site, the terminator site. Why? Because we are reaching almost the end. Terminator site, almost the end of the DNA, and this transcription has to stop. So we have the terminator site. And what is this? This is the other template DNA strand. This strand is called the template strand. This strand is the other strand which is called the coding strand. Got it? So this will be in the 3' to 5' direction, and this will be 5' to 3' direction. So we are manufacturing mRNA from the DNA, that is called transcription. The transcription is actually the formation of RNA. So for the formation of RNA, an enzyme RNA polymerase has to be there. Now this RNA polymerase has to bind to the DNA to make RNA. So where is it binding? It is binding at the promoter site, right, at the 3' end of the template strand of the DNA. Very clear? Yes, it is clear. Then we move on. Okay, the next site is a structural gene where the proteins of the mRNA will get formed, right. We move on, the transcription is taking place, okay, the RNA is getting formed, but the transcription has to stop also. Why it has to stop? Because it will reach the end, and wherever is the end, say here or here, there will be another site called as the terminator site. It is at the terminator site that the RNA synthesis will stop. So there are three regions for the transcription unit: the promoter region, the structural gene region, and the terminator region. Very simple and very good. Now we will see something. Okay, so we are done with 3 questions. Beautiful. Next we are going to see the next question. And what is this? What is disruptive selection? Disruptive selection is also called as what? Diversifying selection. Okay. This is also called as diversifying selection. Now look at the word diversifying selection. Okay, this is I and not E. Look at the word diversifying selection. The word diversifying selection, how is it looking? Diversified. So what is getting selected? Diversified things. So when we talk about traits, when we talk about characters, we will see that very diversified traits, very contrasting traits are getting selected here. For example, say for example, if there is in a population, someone is this much tall, 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 someone is medium, this much, this much, this much, this much, this much. One trait having different variations, right? So many variations. These are mediocre forms. This is the tallest, this is the smallest. So this selection will take diversified forms. That means it will take the tallest, this one, and it will take the smallest, this one. So it is taking the extremes of the trait and not intermediate forms, and this is what is what? And this is what is the diversifying selection or disruptive selection. So we can write this. How to write it? You have understood. It is the also called as diversifying selection. Okay, diversifying selection, where the extreme traits of the character, where the extreme traits of a population, where the extreme traits of a population are selected. Okay. So this is also called as diversifying selection, where the extreme traits of a population are selected. That's it. For example, the male and the sex female, there are no intermediate forms, okay, in a society, and that is what is a diversifying or disruptive selection. So from the section B, we have finished 4 questions, and now we come to the last question, that what are the two major aims, okay, this has two parts. What are the major aims and objectives behind the reproductive child healthcare program, okay, or human placenta act as a structural and functional unit between a fetus and the maternal body. Justify the statement giving any two basic function it performs. Okay, so what are the things? Let us do the first question, the placenta one first. Placenta. First of all, you should know or remember that placenta acts as a link. It acts as a link between what? Between the fetus and the mother, right? Acts as a link between fetus and mother. So yes, it acts as a structural and function unit between a fetus, very good, and the maternal body. Justify the statement giving any two basic function. It is justified, you know, justify, it's telling by stating the two functions. So what will be the two functions of the placenta? The first function of the placenta will be that it provides oxygen and nutrients from the mother body to the fetus, right? It provides nutrients, and oxygen from mother's body to fetus. Very good. This is the first one. So it is providing nutrients and oxygen from the mother's body to the fetus. What is the second thing? What is the second thing? The second function, of this will be, the second function of the placenta will be that it will secrete hormones, okay? It will secrete hormones like what? It will secrete hormones like progesterone, estrogen, HCG, that is human chorionic gonadotropin. Okay, I'll write this as human chorionic gonadotropin. Okay, human chorionic gonadotropin. So the two basic functions of placenta: one, it is providing nutrients and oxygen from the mother's body to the fetus, and it will secrete hormones like progesterone, estrogen, human chorionic gonadotropin, and many other things, okay, which will be also utilized by the fetus. Now we come to the second part of the question, that what are the two major aims and objectives behind the reproductive child healthcare programs? See, a reproductive child healthcare program will, suppose I don't know the answer, the question itself is telling you the answer. Okay, what are the two major, and it's a short answer question. So the moment you read the question, what are the two major aims and objectives behind the reproductive child healthcare program? A reproductive child healthcare program will only aim at the health of the child, health of the mother, the awareness of the society regarding this, isn't it? Or is it going to be concerned about the global warming? Or is it going to be considered about what is happening in USA, who is the president, or what is the social economic status of India, and so on. So suppose if you don't know the answer, such questions are so framed that you can easily get the answer from this question itself. Be smart enough, and I know you are smart more than enough. So the two major aims and objectives, from behind the reproductive child healthcare program will be: one, creating awareness in the society, creating awareness in society, okay, creating awareness in society regarding reproductive health. Regarding reproductive health. Creating awareness in society regarding the reproductive health, and the second one will be that is promoting okay, promoting health of child and mother, right? So the two aims of the reproductive child healthcare program: creating awareness in the society regarding the reproductive health and promoting health of the child and the mother. So friends, I hope this was a very good and interactive session. I hope you understood all the 5 questions, the answers very well along with the logic. So that even if the question rotates around these concepts, you will be able to answer them very well. Okay, you should know the logic, but answer very point to point, say in not more than 2 to 3 lines. Okay, I hope you will be there with me when we will be discussing the section C of this sample paper. Stay healthy, keep healthy, and keep on studying very in the right direction. A very goodbye from Dr. Ashmir. Thank you.